You are now listening to the Real Table Podcast with Michael Carter.
Welcome back to another episode of the Real Table Podcast. It's been way too long, y'all. It's been way too long since an episode of the Real Table Podcast, but we are back on what is for me this Wednesday evening. I mentioned in past episodes, if you haven't listened back, but I've mentioned in past episodes, a lot of life changes is going on, so I haven't been able to get in front a camera and get behind a mic and do the podcast. But now I'm like, I can squeeze this in and I can make it work now. I feel like even though my life is just a little bit complicated right now, I can still make it work. Me and my wife are in the process of moving. I got a new job in Columbus, Ohio. So there's just been a lot of chaos right now and just trying to get settled in Columbus. And we're not fully settled yet. But I'm like, there's got to be a way I can do this podcast. And I feel like this right now, where things are, there's enough space for me to do an episode, even though I haven't done an episode in feels like weeks. But I'm so excited to be back, and I'm thank you so much for tuning in. We have a lot to discuss. We're not doing a specific movie today. And this is what it's like sometimes on the Real Table Podcast. If you're just joining for the first time, I don't always just discuss a specific movie. That's how this podcast kind of started. It was a specific movie, and then at times it was news segments. Recently, it's been a lot of news. There's been a lot of content out there, and sometimes it's hard for me to get to all those content. Hard for me to get to all that content. And so to make up for me not being able to get to that content as quickly as I'd like to, I'm like, there's still a lot of stuff going on in the industry, right? Like right now, like today, we got a big news stretch right now. CinemaCon is happening in Las Vegas. For those of you that don't know, CinemaCon is for the theater exhibitors. They go out to Las Vegas, and you even get some special critics that go out there, and they go and they get to see never before seen stuff for the upcoming year's slate, right? And so, like, I mean, they even see merchandise. They see posters that are yet to be revealed, and this gives the exhibitors something exciting to look forward to tell guests, and to, just to help promote. And sometimes you get screenings at this, and sometimes you get to see little clips, and sometimes you just get, just announcements. Sometimes the things are not out yet. Maybe it's not this year. Maybe it's a couple years you get announcements, which we have some big ones that I'll discuss here that aren't coming out this year. But we get some announcements. But like as we speak right now, they're in a session about Universal, and that means we're going to talk Wicked. We're not going to talk Wicked just yet, but we're going to get there. We're going to talk Wicked. We're going to talk Jurassic World Rebirth, right? We're going to talk about those things as we get there, and I'm interested to see what people are going to be saying. I got my Twitter tab up as it's going right now. It's live, but before we get into that, which I'm super excited about, again, we just have a ton to cover. Like, we're looking forward to April. April gets us revved up. We're getting revved up in April. We've got the Thunderbolts in April. Actually, no, the Thunderbolts in May. We got Sinners in April. The Ryan Coogler film, Michael B. Jordan film, that looks like it's going to be a take on vampires. That's this month. Probably the first big release, I'd say, since Captain America. March did what I thought March was going to do. It kind of fell to the wayside. Snow White didn't do what it was supposed to do. Disney reportedly will lose money off of Snow White. Let me check to see how much money. I think it was around $110 million. Disney's going to lose money off of Snow White. This one says New York Post says $115 million. They're on pace to lose $115 million, which is bad. Considering the movie was an arm and a leg. The movie was a lot. Let's see, $209 million was the budget for Snow White, right? So to lose that $115 million is huge. It's huge. And also, I think this is a good space for Disney to go, we got to take 10 steps back, right? They're in trouble mostly because Lilo and Stitch is already done. You're releasing that in May. You got no choice. And then you have the Moana live action that's due, I believe, next year. So you've got no choice. You're stuck, right? Dwayne Johnson's also in that, so you're stuck. Disney has, I think, in my opinion, Disney has to take 10 steps back. They have to take 10 steps back to decide how can we best effectively do these things, right? Because at the years ago when the live action stuff started happening, I got excited about the possibility of seeing some of these stories being retold and being retold differently in cool ways. I think over the past years now, I think there's been I won't say bore when it comes to these live action takes. I haven't seen Mufasa, but I've heard from a lot of people Mufasa is actually pretty decent, pretty solid film, and people enjoyed it. I think that's a win for Disney. But beyond that, I think there's got to be some steps that they got to take back after Snow White failed. I think Snow White should have been one of the best, if not the best, Disney live action interpretations. Why? Because I think it's a property that not many people know as well as they do from the Lion Kings and from the Mulans and from the Hercules and the Tarzans, right? This should have been that property where it's like, this is Disney's first animated film in history. We take this and we do it really, really well, right? I haven't seen it. I can't give a full analysis. I can't give a full opinion. I don't think Rachel Zegler was the problem. A lot of people have been talking about Rachel Zegler. A lot of hate towards Rachel Zegler. Rachel Zegler is not the problem. 2, I think that you could have recasted the Evil Queen. Gal Gadot should not be in the Evil Queen. In my opinion, and this is no disrespect to Gal Gadot, or Gal Gadot. No, I think it's Gadot. No disrespect to Gal, but her career is not where it is anymore. I think Disney casted her in mind with the idea of Gal was Wonder Woman at the time. Maybe. Gal was Wonder Woman. She was in the Red Notice movie with Dwayne Johnson and Ryan Reynolds. So she was being hired, right, for these projects. Gal's career is not where it used to be. Spade is spade. I think Disney made a mistake in not casting somebody adjacent to Rachel that could really carry, right? Not to mention, I think Gal has said some stuff that have rubbed people the wrong way. I think if there is a central problem, I'm not saying she's the problem, but Gal should be in the heat of a lot of that stuff. People are saying Rachel, and Rachel Zegler is one of the most talented actresses right now that are working to me. One of the talented young actresses that are working. She can sing, and she can act, right? She's proven that in West Side Story, which was tainted, unfortunately, and it was one of the best musical adaptions of all time. And she can act, and we saw that in Hunger Games, right? I think the media is painting her a certain way, and I don't like it. I think it's forced hate, and I'm like, I don't think you could hate me. Or I don't think you can get me to hate Rachel. Now, maybe Rachel's been saying a lot. She's been doing a lot of talking. Maybe you can make that argument. I don't think Rachel's the problem, right? So I think Disney needs to take some steps back and rework how they're doing this, right? Mickey 17 didn't hit like I thought it would. If I'm not mistaken, Warner Brothers lost some money off of that one, which I enjoyed the movie. Very weird, very quirky, but it was original and it took risk, and I appreciate it. I was original and it took risk. So March fell really flat. March isn't a hit, and I expected this going in. I felt like March wasn't going to really hit. I didn't think March was going to do it. So we're looking at April. Can April do it? I think Sinners, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan can do it, right? I don't know how much, but I think he can do it. You got Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan, in my opinion, he's a trending star. He's a trending star. People know that name. People want to see him, right? Top that with Ryan Coogler, director of Black Panther, the first Creed, and for those of you that know, Fruitvale Station. I think this has a chance to be that movie. April 18th, right? We're weeks away, but April 18th. Now, Minecraft, which comes out this Friday, I believe. Let me fact check so I can make sure I'm correct. Minecraft, I'm being told Minecraft sucks. April 4th. Yeah, that's this week. I'm being told that Minecraft sucks. A movie that I was like, it could be a wild card. It could be that movie that's just like funny and weird and wild at the same time, or it can suck. And I think this is what's happening with Minecraft. Reviews are not good. I'm curious to see though, because Minecraft is a big name and it's a big property. People are going to show up, with Jack Black and Jason Momoa in this kind of film. Again, the reactions don't sound too hot for this movie to begin with. I'm curious to see what it's going to do. I think it's very possible that it could flop. I think it's possible. Now, I could be wrong, and it turns out it can hit because it's Minecraft. Kids love Minecraft, and they're going to go see a Minecraft movie, right? But again, as we've seen time and time again, and I've talked to different people, unless it's a movie that's really going to get people out to go see it, people are going to go stay home, right? So we will see what April's going to do. I have high hopes for Sinners. I think the Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler pool. Now, it might not be the biggest splashes hit opening weekend. It might not, but I think the legs on this movie, if it's a quality movie, which with Ryan Coogler, Ryan is always consistent. He is always consistent. I think this movie is going to have legs no matter what, and this movie is going to be a success. That's my prediction. I think Sinners is going to be a success. Now, before we go into get into more stuff, more news, all that stuff, I want to remember Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer passed, I want to say it was early this morning, like at midnight, I think. So technically it's last night or at the top of the morning. Val Kilmer passed. He passed at 65. Top Gun Maverick, or not even, well, he was in Top Gun Maverick, but he was in Top Gun, and he was also in Batman Forever, which, playing the iconic role of Batman, you're already etched in history as one of those actors. And he played in so many movies. He was the voice of Moses, for people that don't know, the Prince of Egypt. I don't realize it, that he was the voice of Moses. And I'm pretty sure he was in Heat, if I'm not mistaken. If I look at his track record, I'm pretty sure he was in Heat. But Val has an extensive career. Yeah, he was in Heat, 1995. He was in Tombstone, Willow, The Doors, Saint, or some movies that if you remember it. So Val has had an extensive career, and definitely a beloved actor. So just wanted to take some time just to remember Val. And I think this week, if I can find the time, I want to watch one of his movies for sure. Maybe watch a little bit of Top Gun. I haven't seen the first one in so long. Or pick up Batman Forever and watch Batman Forever. So rest in peace to Val Kilmer. And definitely thinking about his family during this time. Yeah. Rest in peace, Val Kilmer. Rest in peace. Let's just get to some of that Marvel stuff. Some of the superhero stuff. Avengers Doomsday casting announced last week. Some of you know about that 5-hour stream that was going on, and as I was at work, I had a window open, watching that screen every 15 to 12 minutes to see who is going to be casted. It was the most insane thing for people that don't know. It was a 5-hour long stream, and every 12 to 15 minutes, the camera would move, showing a chair of the name of the actor or an actor or actress that was supposed to be in Avengers Doomsday. And so that's what last week was like, 5-hour stream. And we get our casting list. Well, I should say we get part of our casting list. 26 names or 27 names were mentioned. But it soon after was mentioned that this was not it. This is just who they have right now. Now, I'll go through all the lists, and I can give my little 2 cents on what I think about this, and then go from there. So Chris Hemsworth as Thor, obviously. Vanessa Kirby, Invisible Woman. Anthony Mackie, Captain America. Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier. Letitia Wright, Shuri. Paul Rudd, Ant-Man. Wyatt Russell, U.S. Agent. I might butcher his name. He plays Namor. Tanak Huera Mejia. I feel like I butchered his name, but he plays Namor in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Ebon Moss Bacharach, The Thing, Simu Liu, Shang-Chi, Florence Pugh, Yelena, Kelsey Grammer, Beast, Louis Pullman, Sentry, Danny Ramirez, Falcon, Joseph Quinn, Human Torch, David Harbour, Red Guardian, Winston Duke, M'Baku, Hannah John Kamen, Ghost, Tom Hiddleston, Loki, Patrick Stewart, Professor X, Ian McKellen, Magneto, Alan Cumming, Nightcrawler, Rebecca Ramjan, Mystique, James Marsden, Cyclops, Channing Tatum, Gambit, Pedro Pascal, Mr. Fantastic, and last but not least, Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. Now, first reaction, that is a long list. Biggest question, people are like, how is this movie going to work with so many characters? I mean, we've seen it work before, but how is this movie going to work with so many characters? My instant inference is that this list, and I could be completely wrong, again, this is just what I'm thinking, because in my opinion, they made a big 5-hour stream about this, right? It's strange to do it like this, but they did, and they're missing some names that people probably expected to be on there, like, more importantly, Tom Holland, Spider-Man. Spider-Man is not on this list right now, right? We know that he'll end up being at the very least, and I shouldn't say at the least, because yes, I should say at the least, he will be in Secret Wars. That's the follow-up to Doomsday. We know that. He's going to at least be in Secret Wars, right? But for him not to be in Doomsday, when I think, and it's not even, I think, we can all agree, Tom Holland and Spider-Man, they're one of the MCU's forefront character, right? He's the MCU's biggest character on this roster. Their biggest character, or he's not on this roster, but you get what I'm saying. For him not to be on there is a question mark and is an eyebrow raise, right? I think these people here are going to be at the forefront of the movie. That's my inference. I think they're going to be at the forefront of the movie, right? Still a whole lot of questions. A lot of those questions I feel like are going to start to get answered when the Thunderbolts comes out in May. We're going to start getting those answers. The roster of the Thunderbolts is on here besides, I cannot think of this character's name right now, Taskmaster. Besides Taskmaster, everybody else is on this list, right? I think we will start to get something about how we're going and how we're moving in Thunderbolts. That's clear. It's clear as day, right? And then from there, we're going to go Fantastic Four, and that's going to give us even more where to go off of, right? Noticeably, what's also interesting, no Carol Danvers, right? No Miss Marvel. Or Captain Marvel, I should say. Also no Miss Marvel, right? No Kamala Khan. So, seeing this and going, okay, there's definitely some pieces and some people missing. What is, like, how is this going to work? Really good question. I do think these characters that are listed are going to be at the forefront. Now, what's also noticed, let's take a look at this. Let's notice this. We've got the X-Men cast on here. We've got the OG Fox X-Men cast on here besides Hugh Jackman. We've got James Marsden as Cyclops, Channing Tatum, which I think everybody's surprised Channing Tatum even shows up on here. Right? Channing Tatum as Gambit. Patrick Stewart as Professor X. Ian McKellen as Magneto. Right? Rebecca Ramjan as Mystique. Right? It is interesting that to see these cast members. Oh, and then I can't forget Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler. Like, we've got X-Men in here. Oh, and Kelsey Grammer as Beast. We've got the X-Men in here. Lots of questions I got lots of questions. Now, if you didn't watch the Marvels, you missed the post-credit scene where Beast was in it. Kind of felt like that was coming, right? But there's still, again, there's names that are just like, this person should be in here, right? It makes sense for this person, right? So that's my inference. These characters are going to be at the forefront. The other inference is these are just the only people that have already signed their deals, and they're on, right? They're already on, and so Marvel goes, let's just create what we have. We have big names already. We have these people on lock. Let's just create a video right now for who we have to get people hyped to know that this movie is going to be massive, right? So that's my initial inference. Story-wise, where it's going to go, how it's going to play out, I have no idea. For a second, I thought maybe it wouldn't take place on Earth 616, which is the main Earth, right? And now I'm like, I don't even know what's going to happen. I'm confused, right? Are we getting Fox's X-Men? Are the characters that played in the X-Men series from Fox? Are they from the universe we've seen their stories from, or are they the different universe? Are they different universe? Right? All these questions come into play, and I think we're gonna, as we get closer, and I think, and I could be wrong. I've been wrong about this type of stuff, but I think Fantastic Four is going to be pivotal. Fantastic Four is going to be pivotal. We can already tell instantly from the teaser that we got from Fantastic Four, the first little teaser trailer. The Marvel's first family is not in our current timeline, not in the current timeline. They don't exist in the same world as Tom Holland's Spider-Man. They don't exist in the same world as Anthony Mackie's Captain America. They don't. They're in a different universe. I highly believe that. That movie is going to be pivotal for the future and how things look, right? On what we do, or on how we're moving into Doomsday. It's going to be pivotal, right? Granted, Dr. Doom is one of Fantastic Four's most pivotal villain, probably the most pivotal villain for them, right? This is all going to be, again, this is going to be really interesting, and it might even be fun, even though we can agree, depending on who you are, the multiverse saga wasn't much of a payoff for me, and it felt very flat and disjointed. Things are going to start ramping up in these next couple movies, and I need people to lock in, right? If you're with me, lock in, because I think it's going to get really interesting, right? Okay, cool. Avengers Doomsday casting, it's in production. It's starting pre-production, or starting production. It'll start filming really, really soon. I even read that the script is not complete yet, which is interesting, right? It's interesting. The script is not complete. Interesting. Very interesting. Also, I forgot to mention, Joe and Anthony Russo, the Russo brothers, are directing this, right? Good faith. They directed Infinity War and Endgame. No disrespect to those men. They're from Ohio. I respect them. Joe and Anthony Russo haven't had a hit since Endgame. They're desperate for a hit with this one. I call a spade a spade. They are desperate for a hit with this one. Marvel's desperate for something good, something that hits, something that gets everybody back in the seats to enjoy these films. The Russo brothers are also desperate for a hit. They are. Right? They're desperate for something to really hit. After Endgame, they haven't done anything remarkable. Spade a spade. Fact of fact. Their latest movie didn't do numbers. People watched, and also the reviews and the reception weren't that stellar. They need a hit. This is important, not just for Marvel, but for Anthony and Joe Russo. This movie is pivotal and is important for both parties. That's why I think this reunion kind of works, because it's like we're familiar. We know each other. Anthony and Joe are both huge comic book nerds, right? This is important. They have to land this movie. They have to land. I don't even know. Are they directing Secret Wars too? I think they're directing Secret Wars, because they're filming back to back. Yeah, they're directing Secret Wars 2. This movie is important. It is pivotal for them, like big time. And this is not me being dramatic. No, this is real. People are talking. I'm reading tweets on Twitter, and people are like, Russo brothers, they haven't done much since Endgame. They haven't hit since Endgame. They need this movie. And it's no disrespect to those boys. It's no disrespect. But they need this. This needs to hit. This needs to hit, right? Moving from Avengers, we're going to go back into the CinemaCon space with Spider-Man. The next Spider-Man movie finally gets a title, and it is titled Spider-Man Brand New Day, out July 31st, 2026. By the way, I hate the name. Actually, hate might be strong. I dislike the name. Partially for me, I think one of my biggest issues and criticisms of the Tom Holland Spider-Man era is that the names of the films suck. No, Homecoming worked for one movie. I thought Homecoming worked. Far From Home. Okay, I guess we're playing in this home sandbox. We're using that word home. We're using it. No Way Home. Okay, we're still playing with this home word. Okay, cool. Okay, this is a fresh start after No Way Home. Like, I think we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get a new title. We're gonna get something fresh. Cool. Let's go. Brand New Day. Oh, for me that feels weak. It just feels like a very flat title, and people have said, "Oh, it's based off of a Spider-Man comic." It's based off of a Spider-Man comic, and I get that. I just feel like for me the name feels very flat. Either way, I'm still excited about it. I think it's gonna be it should be a good movie. I'm curious to see what they do with it. There's a lot of speculation on what this movie is going to be about. People are desperate for a grounded Spider-Man movie. People want Spider-Man with no big MCU hero tie-in and everything. People want Spider-Man. They want what we had with. Think about the very first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. Green Goblin, New York, grounded. That's what people want, right? And I don't think people would be mad to see the Daredevil team up, or eventually the Human Torch team up. I don't think people will be mad to see those team ups, but we've been so drenched with the Tony Stark aspect, and then getting wrapped into the multiverse aspect, and like in Far From Home, you had Nick Fury and the Skrulls aspect, yeah, for sure. I think people want New York style. New York. Spider-Man's in New York, being that hero in New York. And, as much as I want to say for everybody, but people do want that. There's still that side of it where it's like, we're right at the end of this multiverse saga. Does this have a big multiverse storyline tie-in like Far From Home did, right? Or excuse me, No Way Home did. That'll be the question. There's been a lot of rumors about plot and this and what's going to be happening. And again, it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do. It's already been announced it's going to be a new suit, which is exciting. We're getting a new Spider-Man suit, which people are hyped about. We saw it at the end, Peter donning something that's close to the OG classic blue and red. So we'll see what that looks like. Dustin Daniel Cretton, he directed Shang-Chi, is directing this film, and it's exciting because Shang-Chi, if you've seen it, great film, great action sequences. And so I think Destin is going to kill this. I'm excited, and even if it's not a grounded story that has anything to do with New York, I'm confident in Destin to really land this movie to be really, really good, right? So, new Spider-Man film coming. I don't love the name. I think the name it'll be what it'll be. And it's very on the nose too. I saw a comment. It's very on the nose. It's very on the nose. Spider-Man Brand New Day. Well, yeah, we know after the events of the last movie that's going to be something fresh and that's going to be new. Brand New Day feels so much on the nose. Don't love it. Across the Spider-Verse sequel. Finally, we got news on this. I don't know. I might have reported it on the podcast maybe once, and how the movie got delayed and it got taken off the schedule, and it's kind of alarming. And we're like, the idea starts to set in. It's like, oh, we're probably gonna be waiting for a while. And so yes, we'll be waiting 2 years for the next Spider-Man film or next Spider-Verse film. Beyond the Spider-Verse finally gets a date, June 4th, 2027. Images were shown, some scenes were shown, and so we will get that in 2027, June 4th, 2027. 2 years away. We're waiting, but I'd rather them take their time and end this on a great note, end this trilogy on a great note. So I'm excited to see how they're going to wrap this whole thing up. But we finally get a date. There's some images online if you want to go take a look at them to just get the first look at Beyond the Spider-Verse coming out in 2 years. So that's that on Spider-Man. We're gonna move away from superheroes. I think altogether, actually, we're gonna move away from superheroes, which would be refreshing for some people. More from CinemaCon. Beatles biopic. The Beatles biopic. I think that was announced at least a year ago, probably 2 years ago, something like that. It'll be 4 films from the perspective of each Beatle member. 4 films directed by Sam Mendes, releasing in 2028. It'll star Harris Dickinson as John Lennon, Paul Mescal as Paul McCartney, Barry Keoghan as Ringo Starr, and Joseph Quinn as George Harrison. Ambitious. 4 films, 4 different films, all released in the same year. And I'm curious how this is going to work. Sam Mendes mentioned something about being bingeable, binging it, and feels weird, feels off. I don't know. I'm curious how this is going to work. 4 different films based off of the members of the Beatles. I do appreciate it and respect it from the standpoint of it's a fresh way to do this, to do biopics. I'm so over the biopic genre because people keep doing it, and a lot of them are just the same old, nothing interesting, right? Nothing interesting. So, Beatles biopic, that's not until 2028. But 4 films directed by Sam Mendes. Now, the F1 movie, which I don't know if you heard about, F1 movie directed by Joseph Kosinski, starring Brad Pitt. This one has a solid cast. Let me close the list. Brad Pitt, Carrie Condon, Damson Idris, Javier Bardem, Simone Ashley. Looks like it's going to be a great film. June 27th. Joseph Kosinski, he directed Top Gun Maverick. So if you love Top Gun Maverick, he directed this movie, F1 racing movie. They screened 10 minutes of it, and Kosinski said this is going to be that movie, the big blockbuster movie of the year, blockbuster event of the year. And I'm excited about it. Really excited about it. And apparently the 10 minutes was really good. And so, yeah, I'm pumped to see it. It's good to hear that the test footage ran over well for the people at CinemaCon. And so I'm looking forward to see more on that. How to Train Your Dragon, the live action adaptation of what some people is one of their favorite animated movie trilogies, or just singular movie, the very first one. The live action movie got screened today. Again, this is another reason why I'm kind of glad I delayed this episode, which was supposed to come out yesterday. I delayed it a little bit because stuff like this happens, and I'm like, oh, I get to talk about it just a little bit. How to Train Your Dragon world premiere. They premiered it today. Apparently, it's pretty good. Reactions are pretty good. I'm very, very curious. I want to see what more people. I want to see more critics get a chance to watch this movie and just to see overall what the real feel of the film is. It's not that I don't believe the people that are in the room, but I want to see what everybody thinks. Scott Menzel, he's a guy I follow. He's a critic, a guy that I follow. He said, "How to Train Your Dragon is everything that Disney hasn't been able to capture with their live action remakes, with the exception of Pete's Dragon, which I still to this day love so much." Very interesting take. I thought Pete's Dragon was okay. But I think to that point, I think Pete's Dragon works because it's not this classic film that and you're looking for every little moment to be right. I'm intrigued by this. Apparently, it's really good. We'll see. I think this movie is going to be a hit, though. That's without a doubt. This movie is going to be a hit. So I'm curious to see how the audiences are going to feel about it, and even to see more of the critical reaction behind it, because this is definitely going to open the door for the trilogy. We know the trilogy is on the rise. They're going to do 2 more if this is really hits, and it bodes well for Universal and their parks. I was critical of the movie this year. I think I mentioned it this year, and I was critical of it because the teaser. I'm hearing it's a shot-from-shot remake. Some of the reception said that it's not a shot-for-shot remake, which is going to be interesting to see. Because if it's not a shot-for-shot remake, I'm about it. If it's a shot-for-shot remake, we've got problems. So, How to Train Your Dragon. That one is due, I want to say June. Yep, June 13th. June 13th. Same month as F1, right? So, that's going to be super duper exciting. Oh, wow. Hold on. Okay. So How to Train Your Dragon. It looks like they just announced a sequel already. They are, Universal's high on this now. If they're announcing How to Train Your Dragon 2 coming out in 2027, oh, that means they're really high on the first one, which means the reactions at CinemaCon bode well for them. They loved exactly what they received, and now they're gonna move forward with second. That's incredible. That's incredible. So Universal at their panel talked a little bit about Jurassic World. A lot of the reactions look pretty good. My hope is for Jurassic World to really just go back into that. I don't know, just to be more interesting. I'm not moved. I wasn't moved by the Jurassic World franchise as a whole. I love the first movie. I thought the first movie was good. Second movie, didn't care for it. Third movie, I could live without. So it looks like the reactions are pretty good. Some cool looking dinosaurs, obviously. I mean, that's the whole big part about the movie, which is pretty good. It looks like they shot a lot of this in real locations. Thailand is one of the real locations. No green screen, no fake places, none of that, which is really cool. Mahershala Ali, Scarlett Johansson are on stage talking about it. Is Jonathan Bailey? Jonathan Bailey is not there. Jonathan Bailey, who's also in this movie, is not there, which means he would not probably show up for the Wicked panel. Oh, okay. Looks like the Wicked. They're looking at Wicked right now. Wicked panel's up. So John M. Chu, Mark Platt, one of the producers, and Ervil and Grande are on stage to talk about Wicked for Good. Stuff that I really don't care about. Really not valid. Okay, it said our second movie deals with the consequences of the choices of our characters made in the first film. That's what Chu says. If you've seen Wicked, you know this. This is nothing new. But if this is new to you, then yeah, obviously it's a little different. They're watching the first look. The teaser of Wicked opens with Elphaba returning to Oz in secret to meet with Glinda. We see Furio leading a squadron to chase down Elphaba. We see Glinda's wedding, the Wizard of Oz quartet, and more set moments from the song for good. Interesting, okay? All right. Okay, that's it. I need more info on that. This guy that I'm reading from, I mean, he gave info, but I need more. And then there's more. There's another panel up tonight, Amazon and MGM. I'm not going to stay on and do this. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this one guy I follow named Scott Menzel. Did I mention Scott earlier? I think. He says, I know I'm biased, but that Wicked for Good trailer was so damn good. Legit got teary-eyed watching it. Oh shoot! All right, that's the only. It looks like that's the only big time tweet that I've seen, giving me some substance on if it was good or not. Okay. Okay. This person says, super stoked for Wicked fans. Really shocked by how much I love the first. The next one looks even grander, bolder, and more lush. Okay. All right. We'll see. Okay. That's all that there is. Obviously, they weren't going to give them a fully loaded trailer, but I would expect a Wicked, a more of a look on Wicked at Wicked for Good. I expect a teaser at least in the next couple months, guys. I really do. Wicked for Good comes out in November. At this point last year, we had a teaser from the Super Bowl, right? Since it opened in November and we come to this Super Bowl, they skipped the Super Bowl, which is smart on Universal's part. The hype was already up from the first one. There's no need to keep pushing to let people know that the second one is coming. We know the second one is coming. Let people be patient. Let people enjoy and sit with the first one. And smart on Universal's on Universal's part for letting them do that, for letting people do that. And so now we await the teaser, the very first trailer, the very first look at Wicked for Good, which, again, I'm expecting that really soon because November is coming and they're going to up the promotion for this one and get it ramped up so people can know about it. But again, when the movie was as big as it was last year, I don't think you don't need to push too hard on the promotion side of things. People are going to know about it. People are going to hear about it. People are going to be aware about it, and they're going to show up, right? People are really watching for this movie. And for me, I'm optimistic. I think it should be really good. All right. That's it for the Real Table Podcast today. Thank you so much for joining in and listening, and thank you for just, again, staying tuned, staying in touch with me and keeping up, because this has been a wavy ride the past couple of few weeks. Just been crazy with life, but now I'm hoping next week, again, we can make that push to do another episode. I'm going to try to keep fitting in episodes here as life begins to get more and more settled here in my space. So thank you so much for listening in and tuning in. Again, share this podcast with anybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe on all the platforms, and even YouTube, and watching this video, like and subscribe and share it. And yeah, man, I will talk to you really soon. Thank y'all so much for supporting the Real Table Podcast. Y'all be safe out there. Peace. Once again, thank y'all so much for joining me today on the Real Table Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and even comment. I want to hear your thoughts and I want to hear your opinions. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Real Table Pod and on Twitter at The Real Table. And don't forget to also check me out on therealtable.com for news, articles, and reviews. I will see y'all soon. Peace.